Good morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is nikymus, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us. Give us a like, share the video with friends. You can subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you're welcome back. And I thank you for your love and support. Now, chosen ones, one of the things I discovered as I was waking up was that, because remember, you guys have told you that I've woken up from narcissistic abuse. So I remember I was struggling to forgive the narcissist. So the first thing what was coming to the mind was, how did I eventually end up trapped in that cycle of abuse for a good number of years? So it was very, very difficult for me to swallow this. I struggled with that. And then eventually, as I kept on, piercing through the veil, then that's when I discovered that actually this whole encounter of the narcissist was all spiritual. So it was all spiritual, you know what I mean? Then I discovered that as well, this whole thing was not personal. When I found out that this thing was spiritual, I also discovered that this thing wasn't personal. So that's when I discovered that I personally and everybody around the world, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. But then the difference is there is individuals who are actually on a very, very low frequency. You know what I mean? So some people vibrate higher, and some people vibrate low. So the narcissists, they're on a low vibration. So when you've been with them and you see the things they do to people, the way they torture, the way they abuse, the way they destroy people's lives, that is exactly when you're going to understand that these particular spiritual beings are on a very low frequency. You know what I mean? And then we as empaths, we are not on the same frequency like narcissists. That's why you see we're in those relationships, we're struggling to fix them, we're helping them. It's like we're doing every little thing for those individuals, only to find out later on that actually they would use our kindness for a weakness, and then in turn they end up destroying quite a good number of people all over the world. But at the end of the day, when I went on understanding these dynamics, I also understood that actually it was time for me in those days to forgive. You know what I mean? But you see, forgiving doesn't mean you're stupid. Forgiving doesn't mean you're stupid. If a person harms you and they do something wrong to you, and you decide to forgive them, you don't really forgive them for them. You really do forgive them for you, because you now understand that these individuals, they have got a situation, especially the narcissists. They have got some kind of a situation. They are in some kind of a mess, which mess they have created at some point in their lives, and for some reason they cannot get out of that mess. So this is like some kind of a cycle, and that cycle, unless something very strong, something is done differently, that cycle can usually go on for the rest of their lives. So they cannot actually break out of the cycle, which we guys can do. So because you see, an empath can always get out of abuse, and the empath will go out there, because empaths they are light beings. So empaths, they're not really I don't really say they are perfect, but they're not like people who are out there to destroy others. You know what I mean? Because empaths they always mean well for other individuals. So the empaths, they go out there, they work on themselves, they heal, they recover, even sometimes they start doing better. But on the other hand, the narcissists, when they go out there, especially when they leave you, they just jump onto the next victim, and the cycle will start all over again, and they will start destroying the next victim, and then another one after that, and another one after that. So that cycle always goes on to the end of their lives, which is not the case for the empaths. So the empaths, a lot of them waking up now, they have all come to the discovery that this whole situation is spiritual. You know what I mean? So it's a spiritual warfare. So all this time you've been dealing with somebody. On the physical eyes, you will see that sometimes they are trying to attack you. Some of the people have been attacked actually even physically. But on the deep level, you also see that actually these all attacks, they were not even only in physical form, but actually these attacks were spiritual. So when you come to that conclusion that this whole thing is spiritual, that is exactly when you say, okay, it is what it is. You have gone through the abuse for over the number of years. You are now going to go out there, you start working on yourself, and you are going to completely forgive the narcissist. So I remember those days I did a video. Back in the days, I did a video and I said, there were some reasons I gave as to why I forgive the narcissist. So I remember in the comments, there were people that, oh, you know, these people, they deserve to be punished and this and that. But at the end of the day, guys, you listen to this. At the end of the day, you're not punishing the narcissist. Actually, you're punishing the narcissist. In physically, you're punishing the narcissist. But at the end of the day, in spiritual form, it is like those individuals, I've always told you guys, those individuals, they're possessed. You know what I mean? So you will punish the person. Yes, some guys, they will carry out revenge. I don't know whatever they want to do to them. But at the end of the day, when you look deeper in this whole situation, you are actually punishing the physical being, and then there is that spirit that you don't have access to, and that spirit, even if you punish that individual, that spirit is going to continue with the next victim. So those spirits, they just keep on using people. You know what I mean? I've told you guys many times in my videos that these individuals, the narcissists, they're just used as vessels. You know, they're just vessels. They're carriers. They are just harboring the spirit. That spirit is actually, you guys already know the spirits I'm talking about. The most of you guys who have dealt with narcissists, you know, the Leviathans, the Jezebels, and all this kind of things. So those spirits, they are just like using narcissists as vessels, because at some point in time, the narcissist made the decision. Whatever time it was, they could have been young, or maybe sometimes it depends on the families they came from, or the personal decisions they have taken in their lives. They could have had a turning point whereby they went the other way. You know what I mean? So they went off track and completely went the other side and started doing things that are out of the ordinary, and doing other things that are harmful to other individuals. And that is how exactly those spirits, they took over. And that program kind of got implanted very deep within their subconscious. And now that program, it can't get out of their you know, their minds. You know, so they just have to carry on like that. So when you're punishing the narcissist, you always have to forgive that. You always have to understand that you are just going to be punishing the physical being. So there is no, it is very hard to tell people that this thing is not personal. I've usually told guys that when you're dealing with this kind of toxic individuals, those people who have been destroying your life, the whole thing is not personal, guys. Even sometimes I remember doing a video and I said, this whole thing is it's a divine encounter. You encountering a narcissist, it has been a divine encounter. You know what I mean? Because if you look back in time, for the most of you guys who have started waking up and, you know, starting to take back your power and realizing who you are, a lot of times you guys have woken up from this narcissistic abuse. It is these individuals who have activated that trigger, who have activated the awakening in you, for you now to come out to discover exactly who you are. Because remember, when you're with these individuals, you are learning very, very major lessons in life, very big lessons about yourself that you really need to understand at some point to discover who you are and come back home to yourself. You know what I mean? So sometimes even you will realize that actually sometimes the divine has even sometimes guided these particular individuals into your life, and then they will come there. Of course, you as a person who doesn't know who they are, you will come there and you will have to go through that whole experience. You know what I mean? Where at some point you are going to now wake up from that experience, come back home to yourself, discover who you are. Me personally, I discovered that as an empath after going through long periods of abuse. So when I look back in time and I know, and I look at all the experiences that have happened in my life, all the attacks I've endured ever since I was a kid, you know, because I've already told you guys the experiences of growing up in a dysfunctional family. So the endurance I've had since my childhood until adulthood, the moment I reached my awakening, they have shown me that actually not only me but a lot of individuals around the world, they're also going through the same similar experiences in different countries, different nationalities. And at some point, they also understand that these whole experiences, they have all been a divine encounter. So a lot of these things that were supposed to happen, it was actually part of the process, part of your journey of evolution. So you see, these toxic individuals, especially narcissists and all the psychopaths, a lot of times they come into our lives to remind us who we are. You know, they come into to remind us who we are. But again, they're not going to sit down with you and explain to you, okay, you are this, or you are this, or you are this. You know what I mean? So they will sometimes do things which things you're going to question, because now you're going to understand the differences in people. You're going to know there is some individuals out there, good individuals, And there is also as well bad individuals, extremely toxic and dangerous individuals who are even capable of causing you to take your own life. We have already talked about suicide every now and then. You know what I mean? So as you wake up, chosen ones, you understand that this whole thing has always been spiritual. You know what I mean? And when you come to that conclusion that the whole situation and events around you, they have always been spiritual, that is exactly when you're going to stop judging people. You know, you're going to start. You will usually stop judging people. Anybody you meet, because I've told you guys, like when you get to that point whereby you start looking behind the veil and you start to see all these hidden agendas of these particular individuals, these entities, you will start to know that actually all these events that are happening around you, everything you see around you is spiritual. I've already told you guys we're spiritual beings having a human experience. It requires a whole level of enlightenment for somebody to understand that we are actually spiritual beings in physical form. You know what I mean? Just here to experience life for just a short period of time. You know what I mean? So you will start to look around you. You will start to examine the people around you. You will start to understand everybody on a very deep level. You know what I mean? You will start to read energy. A lot of you guys have told you chosen ones. There is many of you when you start to step into your gifts and you start to, you will eventually start to understand who you are. You step into your gifts, and sometimes even most of you will find your purpose and direction. You will start to dissect a lot of events happening around you. Whether it will be things you meet along your journey, whether it will be a lot of you guys have seen my video before when I did the video about the synchronicities. You know what I mean? A lot of spiritual events will start happening. You will now start to understand the spiritual world on a very deep level because you are going to start dissecting each and everything around you. Any event, any physical object you meet on your way, the people who come along your way, you will understand that everything you see, everybody and everything in your presence, in front of you, everything happening around you is not a coincidence. Everything, these are like spiritual patterns, and these are things that you, the very moment you wake up, get out of bed and you get out of your house, you start to experience your own universe, and that is when exactly you are going to see the spiritual world be displayed in front of you. You will know if you're chosen one, if you're really chosen one and you are fully enlightened. You will know each and every event that is happening in front of you. You will see the signs, you will see the synchronicities, you will see the people and events. People will come to you, they may sometimes say something, one or two words. You will know exactly what do they mean. You will simply dissect each and everything they're talking about. You simply dissect each and every event that is going on around you. So the chosen ones, normally when you come to that conclusion, we understand that this whole thing is spiritual. You know what I mean? We shall forget about these physical things that we see in front of us because we all know the whole illusion that is out there. You know what I mean? There is so many things about the universe that we do not know, but we shall understand at that point. You will understand at that point that there is so much thing that have been hidden from us ever since we were kids, due to the programming and the system that we've been following for ages. You know what I mean? And that is exactly when you understand, the moment that you understand and you come to that conclusion that everything is spiritual, everything around you is spiritual, and all the events that are happening around you, all these things are spiritual warfare. That is exactly when you're going to release resistance. And what do? The moment you release resistance, you start to go within and you start to do the inner work. You know what I mean? There are so many people who have failed to heal. A lot of people around the world, they have failed to heal. They are struggling. You know, sometimes I understand because, of course, eventually I don't say that I healed very quickly, but of course my healing started with my awakening. The very moment I knew what was going on, the exact meaning of this whole encounter and everything, that is exactly when my healing started taking place. Because now I was able to start breaking that trauma bond that had been implanted in me for a very long period of time. I started breaking the bond, and that is exactly when my healing took place. So some people normally they struggle to heal because they have got a lot of resentment. They are thinking that, oh, those guys, those narcissists. I see a lot of guys on my channel. Normally when I sometimes I do videos. Even ever since back then, I used to do videos, and you would see sometime in the comments, oh, those guys, if you see them, I'm going to do this, they will do that, and they will do this. You know what I mean? So they will keep on that kind of energy. They will keep on harboring that kind of energy, whereby they will be always thinking about resentment, thinking about revenge, thinking about torturing them, thinking about doing all these kind of things to them, but not forgetting that actually those individuals, you don't always have to look at the narcissists. Just focus on that spirit behind them. That is exactly what you're trying to avoid. You know what I mean? You're not really focusing on them, the physical beings you see in front of you. You are now focusing on the spirits that they are harboring behind them. Because you will finally understand that there is spirits that are actually making them, or do all this kind of, there is a dark energy behind them that is making them do all these kind of things. You know what I mean? So when you're living narcissist, guys, you will understand that you have really fought a very big war, a very long war, number one, and a very big war. A lot of times it has taken the toll on so many individuals around the world. It has taken a very major toll on people. You know what I mean? Not even forgetting that some people, even at the end of those kind of spiritual battles they have been fighting for ages, a lot of people, they have lost even hope in life because they have been destroyed emotionally, psychologically, and at the end of the day, they are thinking, what have they got to live? What more have they got to do? You know, what more have they got to lose? Some people have heard about people have committed suicide at the end of those situations. You know, so empaths around the world, chosen ones, you really need to know that all these events, everything that has happened around you, everything that you've ever encountered in your life, in front of you, around you, the people you sleep with in your bed, everything happening around you, all the attacks you've been having, everything has been spiritual. You know what I mean? And that is when you're going to come to that conclusion and you're going to release resistance. What do you do now? You will start to go within. You will do the inner work, and that inner work is exactly what is going to help you to drive you towards a much more better version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, you know, you get enlightened, and then you will start making better choices. You know what I mean? At this point in time, I do not believe, according to what I've learned and the experience I've gone through, I do not believe that I will ever encounter anybody that will come around in my life and start manipulating me and doing all those kind of games that I've seen before, because I've seen it all. You know, a person who is enlightened is a person who they have seen it all. There's nothing you can tell them. There is no particular individual who will come in their presence and they will not know their motives. The very moment they sense, they sniff any bit of toxicity, any bit of manipulation, they are going to cut off that individual unapologetically. It's what I've been doing, guys, over the years. Doesn't matter if somebody came around as a friend, they offered friendship, or sometime a relationship. Anybody that came into my presence, I would dissect what they're after, what they're looking for, and their motives. And that is how I was able, most of the times, to get out of those situations, because I knew that those particular individuals, sometimes they will come and attack you. You will see them physically coming, sweet-talking you. They want to be friends, you know, they are this and that. Oh, can I be your friend? Can I be your partner? You know, they want to date you. But the very moment you dissect the motives behind that, behind the whole encounter, you'll be out of there in no minute, you know. So the reason why you see chosen ones, I've been telling you guys many times in my videos, that you're protected. That is because I know that the protection you're going to realize, actually, that protection has always been with you for a very long period of time. You were not able to see the protection you had as a chosen one. But the very moment you wake up, you start reading the events around you, you will actually understand that this protection has always been around you ever since you was a kid. Ever since you were born, came onto this planet, you have always been having a protection around you. But sometimes you had to go through some particular lessons, specific lessons that would help you, propel you towards forward, and get you out of that low frequency energy. You had to experience that low frequency, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the day, you will rise up and get back yourself up on a high frequency and vibrate higher, so that you will be able now to live the life that you came here to live. I'm talking about a life of purpose and meaning. So chosen ones is spiritual warfare. Everything you see, everything you encounter on this universe, people, places, things, animals, anything, everything in front of you is your universe. Whatever you encounter in front of you is you pushed out. So you vibrate higher. When you vibrate higher, you also experience things in a high vibration, because the universe only mirrors your energy. When you wake up in the morning and you're grateful, you're thankful for everything, you know, you want to have the best day, you ask for a best day, good experiences. Believe me, guys, you get out of your house, you will meet the right people, the right events, you'll be directed towards the right places, and you will experience a very good day and a very beautiful day. But when you wake up and you're in resentment, you know, there's somebody on your mind, you're hating somebody on your mind. Maybe there was probably a narcissist in your life. You wake up and you're hating them. Oh, those guys, what did they do? This and that. When I catch them, when I meet them, that is what you will do. When you wake up in that energy, people, I will also guarantee you, it is exactly that energy you are going to experience. So you're going to wake up and go out of the house, and you will experience people in that same frequency, because the universe is only listening to the energy that you're putting out. So you go within, chosen ones, you do the work. You allow yourself to let go. You let go, chosen ones, you let go. When you let go, the healing happens. You start healing. When you heal, you now start vibrating higher. And what happens next? You start to attract beautiful things and beautiful experiences in your life. So you focus on your energy, because everything around you, you see around you, and you're complaining about is spiritual. There's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do for yourself is to put in the inner work. That is the only thing you'll ever do for yourself. You do the inner work. You raise your vibrations. You put out good intentions. Don't resent. Don't hate. Put out good intentions, and believe me, you're going to win this battle, because, again, everything is spiritual warfare. Everything around you is spiritual warfare. And it's you who have the power to change the dynamics of your experiences each and every single day. So that being said, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And I hope it resonates. Guys, book a session. Donate and support this cause. Leave us a comment and know what you think. And then I'll get back to you in my next one. Much love and blessings. Desmos signing out, and I'll catch you soon.